You know, one of the greatest things that are coming out from this writer strike and this actor strike is the amount of attacks that is happening from the actors and the writers on the people that they've been praising over the last few years, right? So all these actors, and in this video, we're going to be talking about Tatiana Maslany. With Tatiana Maslany, I remember her talking about Kevin Feige. I remember her talking about Bob Chapek. I remember her talking about Bob Iger, and she was always talking about them in a positive light, right? She's not the only actor or actress to be doing this. They will always talk about these people in a positive light. Now, because of the writer strike and because of the actor strike, she can't do that. She has to either spin the narrative the other way or she has to tell the truth, depending on how she's really feeling. And in this scenario, we have an article from Bounding Into Comics where the headline says, Marvel She-Hulk star Tatiana Maslany blasts Disney CEO Bob Iger over his criticism of Hollywood strikes. It's outrageous the amount of wealth that is not shared with the people who actually make the show. So ladies and gentlemen, it's the age-old narrative about, oh, we deserve to have equal pay even though we didn't take equal risk. This is such a bullshit narrative that is constantly thrown around by the people in modern day entertainment because everybody has this sense of entitlement. This is what's going on in this country right now. Everybody feels entitled. Everybody wants everything for nothing. And that's the problem that's going on. And this is what we're starting to see now with the writer strike. So let's get into this article, guys, from Bounding Into Comics. It says, like many of her fellow creatives, She-Hulk attorney at law star Tatiana Maslany is unhappy with Hollywood's current treatment of their writers and actors, a frustration which has only been exacerbated by Disney CEO Bob Iger's recent blanket dismissal of the strikers' concerns. Offering her thoughts regarding the ongoing SAG-AFTRA and WGA strikes from the picket line, the Marvel star opined to The Hollywood Reporter's Caitlin Huston, I have friends who have been doing this for 30 to 40 years and have lost their health care because the minimums are so relatively low, but wages have gone down. People's quotes no longer stand for anything. It's just like we've been completely cast aside, she added. From there, Maslany then asked what was her thoughts on Iger's recent declaration that he found the ongoing strikes to be very disturbing. There's a level of expectation that they have that is just not realistic. The recently returned CEO told CNN reporter David Faber during the 2023 Allen & Company Sun Valley Conference in July, and they are adding to this set of challenges that this business is already facing that is quite frankly very disruptive. So number one, it doesn't shock me that the CEO of Disney is going to think that the writers have unreasonable demands, right? And I don't know the full extent of their demands, but from the demands that I have seen, yes, some of them do look unrealistic, but there is one particular demand that I have always agreed with, and that was them demanding that they have to release the streaming numbers for every single TV show that comes out ever, right? So I want to know what the viewership numbers actually were for every TV show that was ever released, but you're going to have all these studios dancing around that information because unless they got absolutely insane numbers, like The Last of Us, for example, they're never going to tell you the numbers because then it's going to admit in the public eye that the TV show is trash. Not only that, it's going to admit to the investors that the TV show is trash. So you have all of these investors investing their money into this woke nonsense, thinking that it's going to make them a ton of money, and then not even realizing that they're actually losing a ton of money, that these TV shows are not getting anywhere near the viewership that they're claiming on the investors' calls, I guarantee you. But of course, they want to keep people as stupid as possible. They don't want people to have this information because the less that is known, the more they can take advantage of. So that's the one thing that I have always agreed with this strike, is to release the streaming numbers. It says it will have a very, very damaging effect of the whole business. And unfortunately, there's a huge collateral damage in the industry to people who are supportive services. And I could go on and on. Iger continued, it would affect the economy of different regions, even because of the sheer size of the business. It's a shame. It really is a shame. Presented by Huston, while Iger's statements, Maslany rebuked her former boss and possibly current, though She-Hulk's MCU future has yet to be confirmed, bluntly declaring, I think he's completely out of touch. He's completely out of touch with the workers who make his show happen, who make people watch these shows, which nobody does, who bring viewers to him and him money. They don't bring a lot of viewers and they lose money. So, that's the problem. These actors really think that these TV shows are making a ton of money. That's the issue. You're not making a ton of money from these TV shows. These TV shows are bombs. We proved that with the Nielsen ratings. They are bombs. I guarantee you, they're not making money on 70 or 80% of the TV shows that they come out with. But unfortunately, since we don't have access to that information, nobody's ever really gonna know for sure. And all of these actors are buying into the hype that their amazing TV shows are actually doing very well when they're not. So this is the problem that we're having, and this is why you have to release the streaming numbers. So it says, said the Orphan Black star, having worked on a Disney show, I know where people fall through the cracks and where people are taken advantage of, and it's outrageous the amount of wealth that is not shared with the people who actually make the show. That's crew, cast, and writers. Notably, Maslany is unsurprisingly far from the only MCU actor to have publicly approved of the simultaneous strikes. Thunderbolt star Florence Pugh, Shang-Chi, and the Legend of the Ten Rings actor Simu Liu, Agents of the S.H.I.E.L.D. lead Clark Gregg, Eternal star Kumail Nanjiani, and WandaVision's Julian Hilliard, who played the Scarlet Witch's hex magic-wielding son Billy in the series, have all offered some level of support and encouragement to their protesting peers. I feel like we are moving from the great effing around and into finding out, wrote Gregg, referring to the studio's refusal to acquiesce in any way to SAG-AFTRA or WAG's demands. So again, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be interesting to see what happens from the writer strike, especially the actor strike. And again, the actors are only striking in solidarity with the writers. They don't really care. At the end of the day, the actors were making plenty of money on average, depending on whether they were a prominent actor or not, but they were making money. It's the writers who are complaining about not making any money. But again, you have a writer's room like this, right? You have a writer's room like this that is notorious for producing absolute freaking garbage, okay? She-Hulk was absolute garbage. And the fact that you're trying to get tons of money for writing that absolute garbage is ridiculous. Like, you're trying to fail upwards, and it doesn't work that way. The only ones who fail upwards are the CEOs in Hollywood. That's the only ones who fail upwards. They can put out this nonsense. They can keep pushing identity politic nonsense, and they fail upwards, right? But you as writers, you don't get that luxury, okay? You don't get the luxury of failing upwards, which is why AI is going to replace most terrible writers. Not all writers are going to be replaced by AI. The good writers will stick around and persevere against AI, but the bad writers, they're going to easily be replaced by AI. All you need is one or two AI management people, and they will be perfectly fine with whatever comes out from the AI system, and they can turn it into something that's as good or better than these morons could do any day, which is really sad when you really think about it. So this is the problem when it comes to the writer strike. Nobody takes these writers seriously. Perhaps if you weren't so busy attacking the fans of the IPs that you were writing for, maybe you would have more people on your side to support you during your strike. Maybe you would have more people to listen to your plight that you are currently experiencing. But because you decided to shit on people, because you decided to say, you know what? We're going to take over your IPs and we're going to destroy them and we're going to make them what we want because we don't care what you like. Because you decided to act that way, now you have to deal with this strike by yourself. You could have had way more, and I'll use your word, allies, but unfortunately for you now, you've basically abandoned everybody. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it. And if you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.